So what's the thing you spend the most time on while playing Mario Party? Like, what was the thing that you and your friends did the most? Well, despite the fact that the party mode was probably supposed to be the main appeal, honestly, my friends and I probably spent just as much time, if not more, in the minigame section. There's just something so fun about sitting around with a group of friends playing a bunch of minigames, you know? As long as that's not the entire game, of course. But no, seriously, we spent so much time just playing the best minigames over and over and screaming at each other, but in a fun way. Most of the time, at least. We did have one kid get genuinely mad and throw his DS because he kept losing. That was something. Anyways, yeah, well, I wouldn't say this is my favorite minigame collection on the DS, as the Mario 64 DS minigames were honestly a little bit more replayable on average and were of higher quality on average as well. Regardless, Mario Party DS has a lot of solid minigames, so how about we talk about them, huh? I mean, I guess people asked for it, so why not? We'll be playing all the minigames in the actual, well, minigame section, barring a couple exceptions. The first exception is the boss fights, mostly because I already talked about them pretty in-depth in my Mario Party DS video, so go watch that, I guess. The only other exception are the ones that use the mic, because my DS mic still isn't working, so I can't really play those. Besides that, though, how about we get started then, huh? Alrighty then, time to set up our minigame party. Let's see, who should I make suffer with me? Of course, I'm sticking with my main man, Luigi. Let's also add Daisy. She is the best Mario princess after all. And heck, we gotta have Mario. I mean, it's Mario Party. And finally, Toad. So first up, we're starting with all the free-for-all games, where it's you versus the world. This set is probably the most mixed in the game, having some really cool mini-games, some kinda ones, and yes, sadly, a couple pretty terrible ones too. Can't win them all, I guess. So with the first mini-game of the entire list, you'd think they'd want to start off strong. And if this is your idea of strong, you might want to go to the gym. Goomba Wrangler is one of the many mini-games which uses the touchscreen, with this one in specific requiring you to draw circles around Goombas, and that's it. And it doesn't even pull that off really well, like drawing the circles just doesn't feel right and the hit detection is kinda iffy. You have a one-job minigame and you can't even do that well. Rail Rider is a little bit better, I guess. You ride down a rail on a leaf by sliding the touchscreen. Do it faster and you go further. And lose to expert level computers. Okay, we're gonna take down a notch there. It's a little too hard. But yeah, it's alright. Just not really notable.
Oh yeah.
Whew, Luigi, you're looking great. Keep it up. So yeah, dress for success. There's a head on the top screen, cards get shuffled around, avoid the obviously not correct ones, and the fake out one, and choose the correct one. Or put Luigi in a dress, it's your choice. Camera shy, like what else can I say about this one? This one's great. You just roam around, you take really gorgeous looking pictures of people, and honestly, it's just a blast. In Hedge Maze, there are a bunch of leaves you need to swipe out of the way with the stylus. So you swipe the leaves as fast as you can, rub a ladybug a little too much, swipe even faster, accidentally hit a bee, and bam, you're done. I always liked this one. With friends, this game was hilarious, especially because that freaking bee shows up every time and I always hit it. Study Fall is a simple concept. You're on top of the chalkboard, try to hit A closest to the bottom without completely falling off. The fun comes in trying to hit the score of 0, getting agonizingly close over and over, and then quitting and never playing again. Domino effects. You press the buttons it tells you to as quickly as possible, and that's kinda it. Yeah, it's more fun with real people, but against computers, it's like, come on, I'm practically falling asleep here, there's no challenge. And actually, speaking of sleeping, in Cherry Go Round, you spin a cherry on the touchscreen and watch it go. Okay, well actually that was kind of cool, but the actual minigame is really lame, like come on now. But I would definitely take that over this one because Trace Cadet sucks. You draw shapes from the top screen on the bottom, but if you so much as breathe outside the line, then the shape won't get recognized. But even when it does, like, I'm just drawing shapes. This is boring. Congrats, Daisy. You're the Trace Cadet's champion. Now I'm gonna go do something a little more fun, like stubbing my toe. Soccer Survival is great though. You're just dodging soccer balls coming from the top screen, all the while doing your absolute best to ruin the other player's days. I freaking love this one, easily one of my favorite free-for-all games. Hot Shots is an example of a simple concept being made really lame by its controls. You have targets on the top and you use this bow on the bottom screen to aim shots. Too bad the bow is somehow both extremely imprecise and very difficult to control, and it just makes the minigame feel gross. Like the kind of gross where I feel like I need a shower after playing it. Call of the Goombas though is great. You just spin the stylus on the touchscreen to keep in time with the music. Like it's simple, but there's something so satisfying about it. I think part of it's because trying to keep a rhythm is fun, part of it is because I like musical minigames for some reason, and part of it's because you sometimes get to say frick it and do this. In pedal pushers, you press a button, and then you press the D-pad, and then you press the button, and then shockingly, you press the D-pad, and then you press... Roller coasters is way better than what you think by looking at it. You see this ball on the track ahead and think, oh boy, this is gonna be slow, isn't it? And then, like, it's way more fast and frantic than you'd ever expect. And playing this thing with friends was wild. You'd just be bumping into each other, and it was just a great time. Get the Lead Out is a game where you mash the button as hard as you can just to lose to the AI because they don't have to press any buttons unless they automatically win. You try your best and it's like, no more. You win. I shouldn't have bullied you in soccer survival. I'm sorry. I'm still gonna bully you again later though. Shortcut Circuit is one of those games where everybody basically wins. You go down the path and you can place blocks to move you from one path to another with the goal of getting as many coins as possible. Sure, you could betray people by placing paths, but nah, I just want the money. I don't really care. See, this is just a representation of the entire minigame because no one wins playing trash landing. You pick a rope and hope you land on the trash, or you get the unfortunate punishment of having to take a really gross shower after. Pretty lame. Next. Oh wow, it's the worst minigame in Mario Party DS, and it's luck-based. Who could have guessed? Yeah, you pick a line and just hope it's one of the right ones. Listen, RNG garbage is fine in the board game, like that's just part of the fun of Mario Party, but the minigames are the one place where skill should be the main factor in winning, and it's just not here, so it's not fun. Wampathon. As an act of revenge after the events of Mario 64, Mario and friends are surrounded by Womps and must dodge them or suffer whatever kind of fate this is. This one's real fun actually, like it's one of those minigames where you're just desperately running around hoping you don't die. It's great. Also, hey, while I can mention it, why the heck do the hands have a hitbox? Yeah, so this one's a pretty fun approach to racing games. I like the fact that you have to spin the cog and then you move. It's just kind of satisfying, but it's not super notable beyond that. Critter Crawl is kind of weird. Like, no, not the minigame. It's actually pretty simple. You just mash on the A button and kind of move out of the way of the lava. What's weird about it is that the AI just doesn't know how to play it, like, at all. How can you mash buttons at the speed of sound, but you can't even dodge slow-moving lava? Like, what's wrong with you? Boogie Beam is such a simple minigame. You tap the left button when the spotlight hits you and tap the right if it doesn't. Like, it's nothing special from a gameplay standpoint, but oh my gosh, look at them dancing. It's so cute and I love it. Parachuting Gallery is one of my favorite minigames. A shape appears on the top screen, you have to try to land on the square with the same shape on the bottom, all the while pushing your friends out of the way in hopes of destroying their chance at winning. It's such a Mario Party concept, you know, and I just love it. Just the right amount of your own skill and betrayal to make for an amazing minigame. Boo Tag is all about running for your life and then chasing down those who made you suffer and enacting your just revenge. So, you know, typical Mario Party. Oh man, we're on a roll with these good minigames, huh? Next up is Dust Buddies, where you're being chased by this giant vacuum cleaner and have to try not to get sucked up, all the while avoiding stepping on these loose things everywhere and jumping on people's heads just to add a little bit more chaos. I love this one. I'm not that great at this one, but I freaking love it anyways. Cyber Scamper is cool too. You all go into this computer and must traverse a strangely lit path, platforming and trying your best to make life harder for the other players. It's not as good as the last 3 minigames, but this one is solid as well. So imagine jousting, but instead of a horse, you're all on soap. That's essentially Soap Surfers. It's like an actually fun version of Bumper Balls, which by that I mean you can actually play it and win, so that's great. Okay, so bear with me here. Sweet Sleuth is one of those minigames where it's not bad, I just don't like it. Shy Guy wants some candy, give him the exact candy with the same shape. Like, it's not bad, it doesn't control poorly, there's nothing really wrong with it, it's just kind of unexciting to me. I'm sorry. Tidal Fools. Tide comes in, don't touch it. Tide goes out, grab the coins. Like, all of them, because the CPUs don't really know how to play this one. Like, come on guys, at least try, like, a little bit. That'd be great. Raft Riot. Me. Mom, I want Mario Kart DS. Mom, we have Mario Kart DS at home. Mario Kart DS at home? But seriously, this one's actually fun. You get to ride around on rafts and it's chaotic and really hard to control, but in a fun way. I'm just making a joke. Don't get mad at me, please. Me. Mom, I want New Super Mario Bros. DS. Mom, we already have New Super Mario Bros. DS at home. New Super Mario Bros. DS at home. But again, I like this one. It's fun. It's just a joke. And that'll wrap it up for all the free-for-all minigames. But before we get to the 2v2 or 1v3 minigames, let's get to the battle minigames. These are basically the same in concept as the free-for-all games, but there are like 4 of them that I can play, and they do serve a slightly different purpose in the party mode at least. Cheap Chump. You swim around in a pool, desperately trying to avoid getting vored by giant Cheep Cheeps, all the while looking like you're having just a little bit of trouble remembering how to swim. It's great. Star Catchers. You click stars as they appear on the touchscreen. No, that's the whole game. Globe Gunners, though, is great. You run around a giant globe shooting your enemies with bouncy balls or something. But yeah, for some reason, I really love these 3D roaming ones, and this one is no different. Definitely one of the best battle minigames. Ready for another luck-based minigame? Because I'm not. Chips and dips sucks. You just pick a card and hope you get a good amount of chips out of it. Which I didn't. Why do they think these luck-based minigames are fun? Alright, next up is the 2v2 minigames. This is usually my least favorite type of minigame in the other Mario Party games, and while that's not untrue here, there are definitely some solid ones in this set. Unfortunately, because of this, I have to partner up with one of the AI, and pretty much every time I've played with CPUs in these kind of games, they just gotta do whatever they want to. Anyways, I think I'll be teaming up with Mario and Daisy for these, but not Toad. Never Toad. Bros before Toads. And a Daisy too, I guess. Oh yeah, and speaking of CPUs doing whatever they want, in Soil Toil, each player controls one half of a car, and both players can determine whether the car turns or goes straight. It's a riot with friends, but when I can't talk to the other person I'm teaming up with, it's an experience. Mario, please, just communicate with me here. This isn't working. Double Vision is another one of those tracing games, with each player having to trace a certain color on this picture to complete the drawing. It's definitely a lot better than Trace Cadets, though it's almost got the reverse problem where even if the CPUs draw a perfect picture, it's way too lenient with mine and lets me win no matter what. Come on, I didn't even draw the eye this time. That's not fair. Memory Mash is like one of those memory games where you have a bunch of cards and you need to match two to make a pair, but now they added the chaos of trying to do this with a teammate and two other players running around and slamming cards as well. It's chaos. But you want to know what the best minigame of this set is? Cube Crushers. You and a partner each have to hit a button at the end of a maze of ice blocks, both at the same time as well, and man, this is just such a blast. You slam through all these ice blocks as fast as you can, then desperately slam on the button and move up to the next room. It's just freaking cool. And no, that wasn't a joke about it being... okay. Mole Thrill though? You and a partner press a button to decide if you go up or down to avoid the mole. Like, it works, but it's kind of boring, you know? Sprinkler Scalers is also kind of boring. You kind of just press a button to go up or press a button to turn, and that's kind of it. It's not really that exciting or impressive. In Cucumberjacks, you and a partner are at different ends of a cucumber, and you have to use the touchscreen to slice the cucumber as fast as you can. I enjoy this one well enough, and honestly, I love the visual design of the cucumber being cut. Like, it really makes me want a salad. But boy, am I kind of bad at it. This is one of those cases where the CPU is stuck with me and not the other way around. In Hangar Management, you and a partner try to steer a hangar out of the way of oncoming obstacles by leaning it in different directions. It's simple and satisfying, but the coolest thing about it has to be the visual design. This is easily the best minigame for showing just how small everyone is. It's cute and I love it. Book It. You press ABYX quickly, wait for the computer to do the same, then press ABYX, and then wait for the computer to... In Airbrushers, you and a partner have to flap these wing things to try and grab as many coins as possible. It's simple, straightforward, and fun. Simple as that. Crazy Crosshairs kind of blows though. You and the other player both control a reticle, very awkwardly might I add, and try to hit spiders. I never really liked this one, whether I was playing with friends or AI. It's just not fun for me at all. Shorty Scores is just soccer. I don't really know what else I'm supposed to say about it. And now we reach the final section, for this video at least, the 1v3 minigames. So I don't know if this is an unpopular opinion, but these have always been my favorite type of minigames. There's just something so fun about the power differences, you know? Anyways, Power Washer. One player controls a set of nozzles and has to spin it around trying to hit the other players who are desperately trying to avoid it. With friends, this one was a blast, which I guess goes for most 1v3 minigames, but it doesn't matter, it's still fun. And one of the lesser of the set, Peekaboo has all the players searching for a boo of specific type, with the single player having a much larger field of view. It works, but the dynamic is kind of boring here. It's not quite as crazy as the other ones. Fast Food Frenzy. You put food on the conveyor belt and try to get the other players off. It's pretty fun, especially with other players, but I feel like the single player has a lot more trouble winning than the other players. So Trackstar is a case where the game is hilarious with friends but lame with AI. One player controls a train, allowing it to turn left or right, and depending on what the other three players choose, they either escape or get trampled. With friends, this minigame causes nothing but screaming in a good way, but with AI, there's no screaming, so clearly it's kinda lame. In Shuffleboard Showdown, one player flicks chips at the other players, who have to try and dodge all of them. On either side though, this one's a blast. It's that perfect kind of Mario Party chaos that I love in a minigame. Flash and Dash, which thankfully isn't what it sounds like, has one player running from the other three in a maze. Unfortunately, the one player is super disadvantaged and is really hard to win as that, so pretty much every time you're stuck alone, you lose, and every time you're with the other players, you win. It's kinda sad. Rubber Ducky Rodeo. One player controls how much the ducks lean and the other players need to try to not fall off. It works, it's fun I guess, but I really don't have much else to say about it. Ever wanted to run for your life from giant teddy bears? Well, Plush Crush is probably the closest you're gonna get. Both sides of this minigame are a blast. Running from these cranes carrying the stuffed animals is just terrifying in a fun way, and trying to coordinate the plushes together is hilarious as well. Probably my favorite of the 1v3 minigames. Oh my gosh, I can't believe I won that. Rotisserie Rampage. One player spins the meat, the other player's gotta stay on. It's hilarious, but more of note is, boy, does this make me freaking hungry. Nothing to luge. One player's on a spoon and the others are on a sled. Try to get to the bottom quicker than the other side. Honestly, probably my least favorite of this entire set. It works, it's just not that exciting. And finally, to end on kind of an underwhelming note, Penny Pinchers. Both sides are competing to grab the most coins, with the 3 players having to grab from the leftovers. This one's definitely solid, but it's honestly kind of sad that we don't get something to end on that's a little more exciting than this, but what are you gonna do? So then, what did we learn today? Well, probably nothing, because I just talked about minigames for an entire video, so it's not exactly the most analytical video I've ever made, but it was fun, so I guess there's that.